But I feel this is not the wrong attachment, no? For people and for family, for this. Sometimes when I read this, I feel like it's actually great, no?
What Bhaktivinoda Thakur means to keep a balance. Following the principle of Yukta Vairagya. Balanced. Yeah. Having some bond of loving care in family is good. But when it gets too much attachment, too much family attachment, too much overly attachment to sense gratification, enjoyment, then that takes us away from devotional life. Because basically it's the same time and energy, same span of time and same energy. So we have to organize everything nice and plan out. 24 hours. Same time space, same energy space, and space of the activities. Sleeping in everyday life takes so much time. Apart from our sleeping, whatever time is left, if we stay too much attached and busy, occupied with only around our own selves, own individual enjoyment, and even that's what we are doing, separate, away from Krishna, not in Krishna consciousness. If we know how to do that, how to take enjoyment in Krishna consciousness, then it is great. Great, then we become more expert. We can do both same time. Enjoying our life, taking care of our life very well in relation to Radha Krishna, in relation to Supreme Divine Truth, in God consciousness, then it's okay. But we don't know how to do that, that's the problem. So we keep, this is separate, this time separate for me, this is for God, this is. But the way Mahabhagavata devotees of the highest level live their life, nothing separate way. They take care of themselves, not separately from Krishna. Not that stipulated, they don't make any time schedules like this much time, this much space and time reserved for me, only for my self-care. This much time reserved for this, doing my job. At some point, this much time, little time for Krishna. So they plan it out in part by part, separate way. But the Uttamadhikari devotees know how to mix all together, how to unify. Being situated in Krishna consciousness, they take care of themselves, they know how to do. Sleeping in Krishna consciousness, eating, drinking, even doing some of the jobs, by offering results, ultimate results to Krishna. So that's at the back of the mind. Karmarpanam. That's what Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Offer the results of your karma to me. Offer. That is also service. When you cannot directly all the time, you cannot be directly engaging yourself in my service, because of doing many duties, mundane duties, you do not feel much attachment and all. Directly in relation to me, at least grow that healthy habit of whatever job you are doing, the good result you are receiving, offer the fruits to me. Then also, when you offer the fruits, nice fruits, from your jobs, from your activity unto me, not that you exploit everything for yourself, separate away from me, but you also offer me fruits and accept everything as my prasad in your life. Then that is not just karma, that becomes part of my seva, becomes a seva of mine, qualified. Anything you do, Chat karosi jadasnasi, you know that verse. Principle of tat kurusha madarpanam. Do everything for me, live, do, think. You do everything, you live your life for me. Tat kurusha madarpanam. Do everything to be offered, finally offered to me. Do everything finally for my pleasure, for my happiness. And then you will also receive so much in return from me. Today or tomorrow, visibly or invisibly, you will be receiving big return in the form of Sukriti. So, Mahabhagavata Uttamadhikari devotees know how to do that. They don't have to keep separate time and separate situation for this job, that job, for their self-care, and then something for Krishna. Okay. But the way they take care of everything in Krishna consciousness finally becomes directly or indirectly, not always directly, but indirectly being qualified to be offered to Krishna, to connect with Krishna, whatever they do. That's the difference, distinction between the ways Mahabhagavata Uttamadhikari devotees live their life and the ordinary people live their life. See, as soon as I see all of you, I start speaking. Naturally. So, hopefully you are managing your life well in post-pandemic period. That was some new experience, yes, for many. For many people it was very beneficial.
For me also.
They had a lot of introspection, time for more meditation, go inside rather than staying extroverted way. Had some chance to go inside. So, good for many people too. For cultivating internal mood and discovery through introspection, spending life through introspection and developing some insights. For some other people, are hellish. They felt loneliness and this and that. Some other people, they made big business out of that pandemic period. They made a good business by selling the stuffs which are required during that time. Medicines, vaccines, masks, hygienic, those business boomed up.
And grocery deliveries.
Deliveries, and they are so happy. They never made so much profit. See, it's a mixture, mixed feelings. So they are thinking, maybe kind of praying to Lord, oh, let it be continuing like this. It should not be over. We are doing such big business. And they got rich during these 2 years. Become rich.
I heard that time even like a Govardhan. Some people told me they were there that Govardhan was closed, like you couldn't go to Parikrama. But he said he was going like this somehow around them, and he's just crossing. And yeah, it was funny because he has it's my brother, one brother. He has got panic problems from when he stayed in India. He was always staying like half year in India, half year in Europe. And one time it happened that he started to have panic from too many people. Like he's feeling too much bad inside when there are too many people. And then he finally said, okay, no, I have to go to India because I miss it. I don't know how I can survive. And he just came there. and pandemic started, and no people at all, and he's there alone almost. He's so happy. He say, I couldn't believe this kind of mercy I got.
Desire, cherished desire got fulfilled.
So it's because of him, the pandemic then.
But he was thinking like, whatever, even if I die, I have to go there. But he went and suddenly no people. He said like it was really, and he stayed all the time with his guru because there are not too many people. So he said like it was best time in India for him. And he couldn't even come back here, so because it was closed. So he had to stay there more than he thought.
For me, it was also best time in India in 2020, even staying with one particular sadhu over there.
Yes. See, sometimes people say, I'm suffering from loneliness. In my life, I never experienced what is loneliness. Not because I'm surrounded by the people, because when I stayed alone, I felt so happy. Because rather, I felt, it was such a very nice moment, peaceful and happy, because I love to be lonely. I just love to be living single way, lonely way. So it's not suffering for me, but it's so much rewarding to me. Because those who know how to live internally, the people who know the art of living internally, they never become lonely. They have a lot of association, a lot of higher divine association, delightful association from inside, from the level of soul, super soul, world of meditation. So they know how to happily live a subjective life, rather than always helplessly depending on only outside objects, external objective world. So, and sometimes some people come to me, Swamiji, I'm suffering from loneliness. I said, you have not really come to the right person. I cannot really guide you or counseling you, that because I have never experienced suffering in loneliness. What is that? Can you explain to me how it is to be like suffering from loneliness? I love to be lonely in my life. Years I can spend just on my own. Years I can be spending happily, just single on my own. Of course, surrounded by the nature, in the lap of Mother Nature. I mean that. But I'm not dependent on any other person. I enjoy. I truly enjoy to just live single life, lonely life. It is not lonely for me. I'm not alone. That's also another cause. So I'm not truly lonely. Had I been truly lonely, then I would be suffering. But I have never had that experience.
Also from childhood, not?
From the childhood, maybe sometimes in the childhood, when I'm away from my parents, I used to feel lonely. But as I grew up more spiritual way and more self-dependent, self-reliant ways, then I learned to live my life both ways, extroverted ways, also introverted ways. I could swing from one to another. I could be shifting from one to another. Both are like two phases, two folds of my lifestyle living. So,
This past 3 years, I experienced this loneliness, maybe because I'm not on the level that I could be in divine association internally, and also because I'm more extroverted. And this past 3 years, I've been in Germany. I moved there because of my boyfriend, and I've been most of the time alone. I was doing very hard job, which is not according to my nature. So I experienced this, and it's very nice to hear that you saying that you never felt lonely. And I also felt a little bit disconnected from Krishna, as I didn't have the devotees association, and I'm not on the level that I could connect so deeply without devotees. So it was a bit hard.
Yes, understood. Well, it's not that I don't understand what is the suffering of loneliness at all. I do understand. I do understand more ideally, theoretically. Also, through my momentary experiences from my childhood, sometimes I did feel loneliness in my childhood or in juvenile time. Of course, I felt big, huge loneliness after my Guru Maharaj departed. For at least 2 weeks, everything was empty. I was all the time with him. Okay, all the time, almost all the time. Okay, I used to be living under his affectionate guidance, loving guardianship, taking care of him and being taken care of by myself, being taken care of by him. So, at some point, that created a great emptiness, and I knew what is the great suffering of the loneliness through emptiness that time. Through the pain of separation from Guru Maharaj in a physical way. My world got upside down. All of a sudden it's clearly changed. So I understand the pain of true loneliness. Slowly, I started recovering. Feeling into the presence of Srila Guru Maharaj in the Nitya Leela. More I focused on that he is present. He is spiritually present, very much present. He is none other than the propounder, great messenger of immortality, immortal nectarine life, life divine. So he is present. Okay. Non-physically, he is present, spiritually present so much. And the more I felt into that spiritual presence of Guru Maharaj, somehow in the divine abode of the Lord, divine abode of divine couple, I felt more pacified, more soothed. Knowing he has never left us. He has never left me alone. And I also never left him, but never away from him. Then all became very nicely again settled and recovered.
Yeah, and you're bringing presence of your Guru Maharaj to us really, because it can be very much felt in your presence. I was just sharing with Krishna Chandra and his girlfriend, we were somehow speaking about you, the last program they have visited. And I've told them that I remember it was my first impression of your first visit that you came, that it was really like if Srila Sridhar Maharaj was present. It was like surprising because I never felt anything like that before. Disciple representing a guru in such a way that he basically feels present. Yeah.
All credit goes to his merciful grant. Through me, I am instrumental.
Tomorrow it's going to be exactly 8 years since you came. So we have a anniversary. Yeah. It was 2nd of September 2015. Yeah.
8 years completion anniversary.
Yes. I have to say, I had no idea who are you. just Madan Gopal Prabhu asked me, he told me your name and if I want you to come, and I said, well, yeah, of course, let's have another sadhu here. I have no idea about anything. So I really thank Madan Gopal Prabhu very much for bringing you here.
As we believe in, as we understand into some supernatural ways of the arrangement in our lives. Because, a big portion of our spiritual life is supernaturally arranged by some mystical higher power, according to our intentions, nature of prayers to the Supreme Lord. So at some point, Supreme Lord also mystically answers. He mystically answers visibly or invisibly, either tangibly or intangibly, non-tangibly. He sends some answer, replies, responses, by making certain kind of arrangements. That's the form of that Supreme Lord's answer. Playful. They are always He, Supreme She, always so playful. So they design things in also playful, mystical way. We cannot directly understand how they are getting designed. Remains veiled. Certain portion we understand, while certain portions of that we understand well. Other portions remain still veiled in mystery. Only they know about their planning and designs. So to us it remains veiled and mystified, mysterious. But still, it still continues to be happening behind the screen, behind the veil. And it manifests in our life as some certain results, happenings. So, the arrangement, what I mean to say, it is also certain type of the arrangement designed by some higher will in your spiritual lives that we are so designed and destined to meet each other. As according to the quality and the levels of the prayers and taste, like-minded spiritual taste, like-minded, like-hearted, spiritual taste and feelings that He manifests. Supreme Goddess, She, Supreme He manifests according in our lives. Response. So ultimately, while we try to judge, while I try to understand all these happenings on the surface, tangible to us, we try to understand is cause, root cause, starting at a very subtle level. Okay, from the supreme causal level of the supreme cause. Then we understand there's some connections there. Each and every devotee, each and every spiritualist has got their individual and collective fates. Everyone will not be able to be connected to every saint or every devotee. See, as you look around, everybody has got their own fates. According to their fates and taste, quality of taste, level of taste and qualification, they receive connection with different types of sadhus of different, qualities and levels. With some they feel more attached, with some they feel less attached, with some they feel deeply attached to it. It happens just spontaneous way. And it happens thus being inspired from the level of their super soul, being inspired by their own qualities, by their own karma, qualities, level of understandings, also being directly designed, subtly designed by the Supreme Lord, by the Absolute, by our absolute authority. So, license is given from above, kind of. Some approval. So, therefore, we see there are so many sadhus, and I cannot say so many genuine sadhus. When we go to talk about the true, genuine, high-class, real sadhus, qualified sadhus, they are a handful. To speak the truth, they are just very handful by number. But speaking in generally speaking, commonly we find big number of these sadhus. Many people they get related to either this one or that one, this one from different time, place, situation. It's all happening according to their own fate. Okay, their own fates selected by, caused by their own karma, own qualification, taste, by their own quality and taste. Also, it is being sanctioned accordingly by Paramatma. Okay, this is your level, this is what you want, your quality, your level of prayer is like this, so you should get that. You should have it. So it is like approved, license. But that approval comes according to the level of intention, intended prayers. Krishna doesn't create all those. He doesn't directly interfere in creating for them. Responding according to their levels of qualities, levels of prayers, levels of intentions. It's just that. The way they want. The way they want, the way they feel good, intend, Krishna arranges accordingly, if they are sincere. That's how we find many devotees are fated. They're fated to be relating to certain class of sadhus. Okay, certain types of like-minded types. But they also go pass through. It's simply like that. Teachers are giving marks on the examination papers, but it's not the teachers are actually deciding. The student who is writing the exam paper are actually deciding what kind of marks he or she is going to have. Teachers are just doing the duty. I'm talking about the ideal teachers, not bad, more badly motivated teachers willfully doing harm to some students, giving wrong marks. I'm talking about ideal teachers. So, it's very simple logic and simple reality to understand. The way we want things, it happens. We invite things accordingly in our life. According to the nature of our wanting, we invite things are suitable to them and we get them. We go for them. If our quality of wanting is low class, primary type, we'll get the primary things, primary type. When our level of wanting is little more better class, more improved type, better quality, then we're supposed to be receiving response accordingly. When we know how to want, our wanting is of very high class, we'll be receiving accordingly. Like we find in the field of education, primary, secondary, higher secondary, graduation, post-graduations. Not only in the field of education. in the field of our business, in the field of our lifestyle. As long as we remain totally influenced by the mode of ignorance and passion, low-class mode, we think, we are enjoying best life, enjoying very nice, normal life, even in the mode of tamoguna. Because there is no qualification to make a comparative study between which is better, which is low class, because that's all they know. They're born and brought up within that level in the mode of ignorance. So, living under the so-called bliss of ignorance, thinking, I'm living happily. But when they wake up, know how to compare between the life, the mode of goodness and life of tamoguna, ignorance, then they know, this lifestyle much better than what I was living for so long. I was thinking this is all. No, better lifestyle there. So, every jiva has got his fate. Some part of his life is destined, predestined through fate. Some portion can be created freely. So there's some portion of freedom, some portion already presupposed, almost predestined by the law of karma. Our life is the combination of both. Some part of life is controlled by fate, caused by a lot of past karmas, present karmas. Okay, and other part, that's also a big portion. Something remains fairly open. We can make something, create something new. We can write our life the way we want to write the chapters of our life new way. We can prepare, we can make our lifestyle the way we want to. A lot of freedom also given, endowed with free will, everything. So both.
And in to which extent we can use our own will now, or till which extent is the karma from previous lives and from this life? Is it according how much we surrender to Krishna and how much mercy we receive? Or?
Krishna's will is not always directly involved with this, until and unless somebody wants to connect with Krishna, especially calls for Krishna, offers himself or herself to Krishna, trying to truly meaning to connect to Krishna. Until and unless it happens, Krishna doesn't want to bother. Everything goes on automatically, set up by law of karma. Like things go on automatically in a computerized way, autopilot system. These days, even the pilots also take a little nap in the long flying, 10 hours, 11 hours. They take a little nap, it's autopiloted. Although they remain wakeful, I don't think both the pilots take nap together.
And is it that like very high class devotees, sadhus, they are only according like that only Krishna takes care of their life, like if they are completely surrendered to Krishna? So
you mean like if they have any karma?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like if they are still bound with karma and with something, or if when they completely surrendered, so maybe they are only under like that Krishna only takes care of them, not the past activities. When they
when they are able to be dedicated to Krishna that way, if not completely yet, but even to some extent already dedicated to Krishna, with all sincerity, then Krishna takes care. According to the extent of dedication, Krishna takes care according to the degree of dedication, accordingly. In many places, it is best thing on the highest spiritual level, devotional level. One of the best ways, I say one of the, not only the best way, one of the best ways to leave it in the hand of Krishna. Oh my Lord, my beloved Lord, you do what is best for me. You select. I mean, it is one of the two best ways. Now, there are so many best ways. Two best ways. One of the two best ways is that, Lord, I leave it to you. Completely I leave it to you. You do that for me the way you feel best about me. You know much better than me how I can be best taken care of. Okay, I am surrendered to you, I am in your set. Other best way, with some loving claim, comes through too much devotional love, loving claim. There other plan out for Krishna, which way you should do, Lord, I advise you. They have got that level. This is not so best. You should be designing this in this way, I feel. They have got that claiming relation, like in the mood of Shaka. They advise Shaka. If you play this way, it will be better. Okay, better. Take my advice, Krishna. No, you don't understand. I understand better than you, Krishna. Then Balaram cannot defeat you, Balaram team. Just we have to be strategic. Play this way, I advise you. See, with that claim, Shaka. So much love for Krishna. His main intention is to make Krishna winner against Balaram team. Playful way. Advising Shaka. No, the way, don't play that way. Take my advice, do this way. See, influencing Krishna to change his own desire. But that level comes after when we can truly feel and mean, Amito Tomar. Oh Lord, oh my beloved Lord, I fully belong to you. I am fully belonging to you. When we can have that feelings, that whole self, everything wholeheartedly and fully belonging to you. Then thereafter, that stage comes, you also belong to me. Not only I am belonging to you, you are also belonging to me as my beloved. That's the loving relationship, intense love relationship. So in that stage, when they feel you are also belonging to me, they also try to have some loving control over Krishna's desire. They even change the ways of Krishna's desire by influencing by their own love. Krishna changes mind. One who is the supreme controller, changing everyone's mind and everything. Now he is getting controlled. He's getting controlled by love, intense love of his loving, beloved associates. He loves to be controlled in that way. So he's changing his own sweet will. Okay, and doing things according to the way they want. He loves to do in that way. That is also his desire. That's also accepted by his own sweet will. So that is the other best way. Both are the best ways.
But then we would need to have those prayers like do whatever is the best, like if we would like to be under his control, then we would really need to pray intensively, and so he noticed us, not because we would really need to desire from the bottom of our heart, and we would need to do it for long period of time, the same prayer. So he noticed us, and
on the higher level, one doesn't have to think of so much of how to do things. It happens automatically. Just as many of the activities in our life just going on by nature. Heart is doing its function, heart, lungs, kidney, brain, all doing their functions automatically. Okay, as set by the higher law of creation, higher laws of life. See, even our feelings also they also have natural ways. We have some part of our activities controlled by our free will, some part not. Some part are designed by the nature. So we are rather controlled by the natural way, and it is natural for us. Although controlled by the nature, but because it is natural, so happy. Getting controlled by sleeping energy, but we enjoy it. To be sleeping. Controlled by principle hunger, but we enjoy to eat.
And does Krishna knows, like if we have some deep desire, for example, to establish relationship with him, but we don't pray so much in focus on this, but for example doing many other things, but still have this desire deep in us, does he knows, or I would need to do something else?
He knows everything. What we need, what we often forget, we truly need to be very, very open-hearted. Open-minded, open-hearted. And also enlightened with intelligence. Okay. Arrogant state. Krishna never asks his devotees to become stupid or ignorant or less intelligent. He says you be simple. You can become simple, free of false pride. But he always wants his devotees to be very intelligent and knowledgeable, enlightened with higher knowledge and intelligence. When I say knowledge, it doesn't necessarily mean academic education. I mean through knowledge through the feelings, naturally higher intelligence, okay, through realizations. So when we stay very, very open-hearted, completely open-hearted as much as possible with all sincerity, and inviting the highest good in our life from any direction can happen to me, can come from any direction, whether tangibly or intangibly. And depending upon Krishna's sweet will, without me making choice all the time, through judgmental ways, through our ways of judgmental, our ability of becoming judgmental so limited. So therefore our intellectual analysis, or our intellectual understanding, our heart's feelings, both have to come together. And that can happen when you stay fully open to receive any revelation of the higher truth in your life, with enlightenment of knowledge, with intelligence. And while remaining prayer, sincerely engaging in heartfelt prayer to the Supreme Lord for helping. When three aspects are combined together, some higher good comes in life, can be blessed. But when we keep ourselves isolated by different prejudices in our mind, I cannot do this because I am connected here. This is my role, this is my space. Such and such is my identity. And I cannot do this because others will think bad. What he will say, she will tell me. And I feel, what happens is that I get prejudiced by different types of thought process and social obligations. See, I don't become open-hearted, open-minded to embrace the higher truth, higher good as it is. Because I am so bound by different conditionings, by the different limited conditionings, prejudices caused by different time, place, situations I am living in. But the higher spiritual revelation cannot be bound by the obligations of time, place, situations I am living in. They are very mortal, mundanely limited. They are not supposed to make my spiritual life limited, obliged by them, obliged by their influence. So many things go wrong because of our limited isolation and prejudices also. Okay. Prejudices can be right way, can be wrong way, but we do not know which are right prejudices and wrong prejudices. So, the Guru Maharaj explained, when one remains open to the best of his or her own sincerity, fully open, can be fully open-hearted, open consciousness and inviting the highest good in life as it wants to reveal in the devotee's life, in his or her life, and also welcoming it with full of intelligence, inviting it, not that it's coming, I don't know how to address it, I don't know how to take care of it, welcome it, not that. Very much welcoming it, lovingly welcoming and embracing it when the higher good is coming down in your life, embracing it with loving care and receiving it more and more as much as possible, being gifted to me due to my sincere prayer. When we know with the full sincerity, truthfulness, without being controlled by any so-called prejudices, institutional, organizational, individual, social prejudices or obligations, then something wonderful happens. But alas, we cannot do often. Every time we have got obligations or prejudices, we do have different types of obligations in our life according to time, place, situations, and they limit us in various ways. Even they prejudice us so much, those obligations, obligations not only influence, our lifestyle, life pattern, but also they create some kind of thought process within us, change our psyche. Association is very strong, very strongly powerful, whether environmental association or individual association, very strong. So when that becomes overpowering on somebody, it just makes that person, remolds everything. Remolds means recreates. So even it changes. Not only it brings changes in our lifestyle, objectively, biological level, but also in mental level. It even brings changes in the thought process, in the world of our thought process. See, prejudices are so much. Our open way of thinking also gets controlled. Like this way, that way, this superstition, that superstition, sometimes in the name of Siddhanta. More misleading. confusion comes. Sometimes something is said to you, given to you in the name of higher spiritual Siddhanta, but actually it's not that. It's materially motivated, but just to manipulate you, control your mind setup. It is presented to you accordingly so that they can manipulate your mind accordingly. But when you understand after long, it is not spiritual. Behind this, although it was put in the spiritual packaging, but actually it's materially motivated to satisfy certain of their interests. Then it's too late by the time you understand. Therefore I'm saying, with the open-hearted feelings, one has to have intelligence. Both. God has given both functions in our life. Heart's feeling and knowledge, faculty of knowledge and intelligence. Why? What for? For utility. Not for misuse, for utility. Heart and head must be working together harmoniously. At some point, there is no difference between heart's feeling and head's feelings. It's consciousness. Whether it is working from here or from here, there is no particular region. Everything is ultimately one consciousness. Consciousness represented by one organic whole. There is no difference between heart and head. These are all limited difference. So, intelligence becomes your feelings. Your knowledge becomes one with your feelings. Your feelings become one with your knowledge on the enlightened state of life. Higher liberated state, higher state of the life. What your knowledge, the way your knowledge directs you, your feelings also direct you according. The way your heart speaks, your deep heart's feelings tell you, your intelligence also guides you. Same way. They become one. They come together, unified. Because both are the parts of our existence, of consciousness. They come together. They work conjointly. They work together, harmonious cooperation. Unified way. That would be the idea. Are you recording this?
No.
Why
Yes,
are you
we are
recording?
recording.
So many valuable things I'm speaking.
Yes. I was hesitant because
Flow.
also many personal stuff was said here, so I really did not.
You have to be editing.
Yeah.
Make some sacrifice sometimes to editing out. Okay, from the time you placed your mobile phone there, recording. Good. Some of my special explanations how to record it can be beneficial. I'm not talking for myself. I'm not interested in meaning that for my own benefits, for other devotees' benefits, when they listen to it. Sometimes I also don't know which way it will be flowing through me. My Lord will be using me as a conduit, as an instrument, via media, to be flowing some truths through me. So, I am also not conscious of that. But when it flows through me, something I feel, something being revealed through me. It's His treasure. I am just instrumental. Whole credit goes to Him or her. Whole credit goes to my Supreme God and Supreme Goddess, ultimately. And I am playing the role of their servitor, being conduit, being instrumental. On the higher level of release, higher level of transcendental realization, often all the instruments also become so live. They never stay in the Shantarasa pose, only just posing like instruments, but they also directly feel the taste of what is being played on it. Generally, commonly, the instruments are material stuffs. Instruments are material things. They don't feel anything, but only the player of the instruments, are having all the taste of the musical melodies and creating music and having the wonderful taste, relish of the musical melodies and song, everything. Really the players. But on the highest quarter, the highest transcendental level, the highest plane of perfection, abode of Radha Krishna. Even the musical instruments, flute of Krishna, the veena played by the Brajagopis, Srimati Radha, they no more just don't remain simply as instruments. They also relate to the direct taste. Everything, they become alive. So while they are being played, they also taste so much of their own sweetness, the music which is being played, using them, utilizing them, musical instruments. So not only Krishna releases his flute song, but the flute itself also releases what Krishna is playing on him or her, on it. So it becomes a living media. Instead of just remaining as like inert material media, instrument, it becomes alive. Krishna is so merciful, also gives some. So Krishna allows a taste to all the Shantarasa paraphernalias in Krishna Lila. So sometimes it may so happen, the things posing in Shantarasa and getting so affected, they become so alive, they start getting melted, changes their form, even physical form, cannot hold their normal ways, being affected, deeply affected by the ambrosial release, irresistible ambrosial release from Krishna Lila. They become so directly affected, affected in an ambrosial way. See, some way, through some connection, I have began to speak in these ways. It's a transcendental internet, transcendentally designed internet. I do not always know from which connection, from which way I will be connecting, flowing this way, that way, depending upon the nature of your question, your query, but your query is just on, how to say, nimitta. Your query becoming some instrumental. I could have answered to your query in a different other ways. There could be other alternative, substitute ways of answering the same query. But this is the way I feel inspired, natural way. Something living. So, and that's how it is connecting, finally connecting to the world of Krishna Lila, Radha Krishna Lila, the taste of the highest quarter. See, connection is there. So you got the answer to your query. So it is very, very back to the point. It's very, very important for everybody, every devotees, every spiritual seekers to remain very, very open-minded, open-hearted, full of sincerity, and with high-class prayer, not with average type of prayer, then we lose so much. Krishna responds, mostly Krishna responds according to the level of our prayers. So we have to understand in the first place, we have to learn in the first place how to want the best instead of primary things. Sometimes we don't even know how to be wanting the best instead of good and better. Then, even if we are wanting for the best, it will start from the good level, good to better to the best. But at least that prayer is lodged, registered with Krishna. I want the best. I want to go for the best. So it is, application is given that way. Now it is up to you, according to my qualifications, how you want to deal with me, treat me, most probably with the good state, developing me more, improving and developing me more and more from the state of good, level of good to the better to the best.